Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to talk briefly about giving our power away slash holding on to our power. And I would like to tell you a story, something that happened yesterday. It's basically about nutrition, the car accident that transpired that took place many, many months ago in May of 2021. We're now in November. The overall message is we need to stop giving our power away because the authorities, those who are in charge, just assume they think that all of us are going to be giving our power away. So this story, the story that I have to tell, fits in nicely. Excuse me. About I'm at work. I'm at work. I wanted to do this recording before I leave so that it gets done because I think by the time I get home, I'm gonna be just out of it, and or I might not have enough time. So we give our power away all the time to outside authorities other than ourselves, whether it's the elites, whether it is government, teachers, bureaucrats, so forth. We look for outside authorities, whether it is in academics. It's always don't tell your own story, right? A third party, neutral. The third party may not be neutral. All these academic papers, it's not your story. Sometimes your story is more neutral than the, or has more evidence than the third party, right? But it is what it is. So again, you might hear some background noise. You just have to deal with it. As long as you can hear what I'm saying, that's the most important thing. I'm at work. I'm finished. I just finished, but their hours are. Oh, let's not even get into it. So basically, here's my story about not giving my power away to nonsense. Before I began, I was, I pretty much knew as soon as he started opening his mouth, as soon as he opened his mouth, I knew what the game was about because I have accumulated over the years. People trying I have been aware that they know where I am conscious wise. And when they're talking to me, it seemed a little off that they were talking those in that particular language. So when this doctor yesterday started, I went to the doctor's office and uh, I walked in. I needed to do an evaluation. Basically, he just talked to us. My wife and I talked to me, and he focused on me first, obviously, because my wife doesn't. Her English is work in progress. And so he just started asking questions, mostly about nutrition. And what was the first thing he asked? Oh, how the pain was. Basically, he's a therapist, right? Physical therapist. He's in charge of the whole entire, all the doctors in that place. So basically, he's pretty high up. He's the highest person there. You can But so when I went to him in May, excuse me, when I went to him in May of 2021, just merely a few weeks later, I was skin and bones, car accident after the car accident. And so today, his questions, my inner knowing knew what he was up to because the questions that he asked in May and the following months did add up. And mind you, I had been talking to him over the months. This is the seventh month, right? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So this is the seventh month. And so a guy comes to you weighing about 120 something pounds. And within like literally within a week or two, he's down to 100, about 100 pounds. And you don't say anything, right? You don't even ask. Well, you don't say anything, but you do talk about, like, health, food, things like that. You ask. He tells you he's into taking good care of himself, and he didn't go into detail. So I'm talking about me, but nowhere along that conversation or those conversations throughout the months did you, like, show any sign of worrying about his diet. All you knew basically was that he was, quote unquote, your quote unquote, not his quote unquote vegan, because this guy doesn't give himself titles. But so as the months passed, as his, before he went to Peru, and he told you he needed alternative healing, and that their physical therapy wasn't going to be enough. You didn't show much worry about, like, oh, you didn't recommend anything about what he should be eating, right? It is only when he gains, like, about 20 pounds and he's back to normal, that you're like, you want to throw your nonsense his way. Well, his is his nonsense. I remain very polite throughout all this. So, uh, Dr. Chi asked me about the pain. I told him it was about a 5, that it wasn't unbearable anymore, and I could think and I could drive. So again, this is my physical therapist. Um, and he asked me what I was doing uh, to stay in good health, and to keep uh, things rolling in terms of to feel good. Because I said I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that I'm okay. And I told him, as long as I sleep, as long as I slept, I'm usually okay. And so he tried to focus on nutrition. This time, okay. How all of a sudden he started talking nutrition. Uh, he's asked me to be specific about what I was eating. I said, well, I tried to, minimize the chemical in the food and minimize the sugar. So he honed in on sugar. At which point I told him, well, I try to minimize the sugar whenever possible. And at that point, he asked me if I drink coffee. I mean, like coffee, tea. I said, well, as long as it doesn't have too much sugar, and I'll drink it. So he asked me if I drink it hot. I said, I drink it lukewarm. So he wasn't getting the answers. So he had to think about the answers. If he were thinking about the answers that I had given him a month ago, then he would have had the answer. But so basically, what this guy was doing was tapping into my energy system, and he was playing a game. It's all a freaking game, people. Once you understand how the soul universe works, then you can pick up on things faster and faster. It was a game to him because he knew that I know more than him. He should not be giving me any advice. So this is what the advice section comes in. He said, so you don't drink tea. So he was trying to find out if I was eating sugar to gain more weight. I said, no, I'm not going to be putting drugs in my body. You and I have discussed that. Um, so it went on. He says, then he asked me again. So this is repetitive repetition. Remember, repetition indicates there's something important or relevant about something or an issue. So you don't drink tea? I do. It's called kombucha. You and I have talked about this before. I was thinking in my head, I didn't tell him that. Ah, boy. And so I said, so if you ferment it, well, obviously it's going to kill. So I see he was asking the fermentation. I'm like, dude, you don't know much about these things. You went to school. So at some point he said, uh, well, we'll get to that. It gets good. It gets good. We'll get to that. At one point, he said, "Well, you need sugar. The brain needs sugar to function." I said, "No, the brain needs fat to function. About 60, over 60%, about 60 or more percent, between 60 and 70% is liquid, fatty liquid, the brain. So remember, scientifically speaking, I told him, the brain requires more fat. Sugar, you cannot. The body doesn't burn fat. Your fat won't go away until you start your um, sugar level is down to zero. So you can't burn. You can never burn any weight until your sugar level is down to zero. Okay, so fat is more crucial. So then at that point, I think he realized that I didn't have to go to school to know all this. So he was a little nervous. He said, and he's a very polite guy, very polite. And he said, "Well, I went to school for this." I'm like, "Well, I went to school to become a teacher, to be a teacher, but certain things didn't work out." And so the insult here is, so he's playing the "I'm a doctor" card, dude. If anybody ever tells you need sugar to survive, so at this point I cut it short. I said I could stop. I told him I could stop talking. Uh, I've said it very politely. He said, "No, it's not like that." I'm like, "Listen, let's just put it this way. Just listen to what I have to say. I came to you weighing 100 pounds, about 100 pounds, and I told you X, 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 and now you look at me. I look back to my normal weight, over 120 pounds." And I gave him that look. I'm like, "Oh boy." So then I walked outside. And so when we were done, walked outside. Most of this was focused on me and something to the effect of love, right? Love. And I said, "Well, of all the things that exist, only love." And then so he said something to the effect of, "You got to be careful with that." I'm like, "Oh God, this guy's lost. He can have all the degrees in the world, he's freaking lost." And I can't have this. I shut myself down. I can't have this conversation. The conversation is bad for my health. It's not healthy for my. It's not healthy at all because I saw what he was doing at a deeper level. Okay, because he was disrespecting me at the soul level, so I let it go, thinking that he was going to have control or I was going to give my power away. Please, please, people, it's expected of you to give your powers away. That's what's expected of you. You're expected to bow down to authority. Your accumulated knowledge from the non-formal school is worth less than those who acquired it, right? So if you went to formal, if you have formal education, that's supposed to count for more. Even if they don't say, that's what they're thinking. I had to shut a doctor down when my accident occurred. I told him straight, flat out, it's in book 5, your opinion here doesn't matter. If I had listened to you, I would have died. It doesn't matter. He got nervous. I don't know if he's reptilian or something. He's extraterrestrial for sure. He just couldn't stop blinking. It was like every 2 seconds, every freaking less than 2 seconds, he was blinking. So that's one of the ways we give our power away. I was watching a video about Harvard the other day, and I was like, please let this girl really talk about the bullshit Ivy League institutions. Please just slam Harvard because they're all full of shit. Letting good students accumulate that. The suicide rates at the Ivy League schools is tremendous. I didn't even understand this until after I graduated from there. Yeah, yeah. Take that seriously. Anyway, I think I'm going to make another video. When the observer becomes the observed, the game must change. Let's change up the game a little bit so that. Wait, we're not even done yet. I didn't give you enough evidence. Look, I didn't give you enough evidence. Okay, so when I told the doctor that The brain needs more fat and oil, and there's nothing that says it needs sugar. Here. This is what I. This is an article that I found. Boost your brain power with the right nutrition. This one is by Liz Wynandy RD. Okay, we've known for decades how our food and drink choices affect our heart, liver, and other parts of our body. Now we're seeing that the same holds true for the brain. Mounting research shows that a healthy diet improves brain performance and preserves brain function. It makes sense. We know we know diet choices affect blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol. When any of these levels are off, it can be bad for the brain and increase the risk for stroke, dementia, and decreased cognition. By the way, I told him when he started talking about sugar, I said, listen, it's almost impossible not to have sugar in your blood because everything we put in our mouth, fruit, vegetables have sugar in it, so you don't have to worry about that. Your problem is minimizing it. He was like, yeah, I should shut the hell up now. Again, he wasn't rude to me, but I felt the slick disrespect of how he tried to, like, he knows, like, people know you at the soul level. They're playing a stupid game, and so I'm putting this out there. Okay, so the article continues. Many people ask if there is a specific diet or special food they should eat for more brain power. It's hard to name exactly which diet is best for the brain, but we now have some clues with research being done on Mediterranean dash dietary approaches to stop hypertension and mind Mediterranean dash intervention. Fats, FATS. Okay, no jokes about fat heads. Did you know that up to 70% of our brain is made of fat? What did I tell you? Between 60 and 70. Fat is very important for proper brain function, but it needs to be the right kind of fat. Okay, it's not like cooked fat, cooked oil, unless you ferment it afterwards. Too much of it, it's not cool. You need like fat that is like alive, like, avocado and so forth. We need to get enough omega-3 fatty acids. You don't even have to think about these things. People are worried about like getting enough of this and get enough. Just stop thinking so much. Just eat the food, eat some nuts, eat some avocado, eat some salad. That's all you need. Dude, sometimes people just like, oh, they just get so like in the box, putting themselves in the box. Three of fatty acids because these are the essential building blocks of our brain and they're important for learning and memory. This is one reason that women's prenatal vitamins contain DHA, a type of omega-3 that's also found. I wonder if they're messing with that. And the minute they mention it, I'm just on a high alert. In large amounts in fatty fish such as salmon, forget that salmon, mercury, salmon, mercury. Another type of omega is available from plants such as grounds. Thank you. Didn't I just talk about seeds? Flax, seeds, chia, and walnuts. If you have problem digesting these seeds, I just chew it and swallow the liquid. Soak them. Soak them for a couple of hours, at least an hour. And when you're done, another 5 minutes in pure vinegar. Whatever toxins are in there will be eliminated. The fat you want to avoid in large amounts of saturated fat, such as butter. Okay, it just means cooked fat. Cooked fat. Cooked fat. Heated fat. When you cook your food, 99% of the nutrients are gone. Proteins. Proteins are important building blocks for the neurotransmitters that send messages throughout the brain. Most of the research so far points to fish, poultry, eggs. It's in everything. Carbohydrate, starches, and sugars that supply most. Basically, This guy, the doctor was giving me a limited giving me a limited perspective view of um, what he, people gain weight by eating fat. People gain weight by eating sugar because sugar can be converted to many things, muscle, fat, and so forth. But I don't think he's been knocked out. When you get people like that, you gotta just you gotta school them, and just a little bit, and then just let it go because you don't want to waste your energy. But I was gonna combine this with another video, change up the game a little bit here. All right, so I'm going to talk about that Travis guy. All right, let's go to. I think. Okay, so Travis. All right, I think my boss is trying. Well, she's not my boss, but I have to respond to that. So let's just finish up this video. But I don't want to. I want to make sure that this guy is covered because. So what we actually have are going to be to complete videos on nutrition, giving our power away, and Travis, the rapper, the so-called what do you call it? It's like a sacrifice. That was precisely what happened. Give me a second, and I'll put it on for you in a little bit here. CG gig JW G9 TZ small letter W. Okay, it says small letter. Okay, is there a reason why I can't reach YouTube? Come on, are you serious? There's no reason why I can't reach YouTube. I'm a teacher for crying out loud. Let's go. All right, I'm just gonna type in what's this guy named Travis Scott. All right, so I'll just type it in and I'll find it. Hopefully, Scott concert. This thing that happened 2 weeks ago, or was it about a week and a half? It was about a week ago. Uh, Travis Scott pretending to be in concert. Travis Scott concert in hell. Okay, let's type that in. Uh, crowd surge at Travis Scott concert leaves 8 dead. Okay, I want to see. Is this the video? Teenagers among 8 killed at Travis Scott. Let's check this one out.
My son is at home by himself. Yes.
I saw the family leave. Concert disaster in Houston. 8 people killed, hundreds more injured when the crowd surged as Travis Scott was on stage. We're learning more about the victims as Scott himself speaks out. Marcus Moore, live in Houston, with more on the investigation. Good morning, Marcus.
Well, Robin, good morning. You can see that growing memorial just outside the concert venue behind me. The brother of one of the people who was trampled to death said that you come to concerts to have a good time, not to die. This morning, grieving families are asking what went wrong here and who's accountable. This morning, multiple lawsuits against Travis Scott, Live Nation, and even rap superstar Drake found after the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston turned deadly. Officials launching a
People were stepped on.
into the chaotic concert that left at least 8 people dead, many others hurt.
Being in this crowd is literally what my friend. That was apparent.
This morning, a frightening new glimpse into the Astroworld tragedy. EMT Remington Richardson details
detailing how he tried to save an unconscious girl caught in the crowd, as a sea of other fans begged for help.
I did my absolute damnedest to provide the best care I could.
The music so loud, he says, radio calls for backup went unheard. The chief of the Houston Fire Department also admitting to CNN a glaring lack of communication with concert organizers during the event.
No, we didn't have, on scene, we did not have direct communications with those organizers. No.
Concert organizers had 2 security plans in place, but did not respond to NBC's request for comment. The fire chief also telling Savannah rapper Travis Scott.
Okay, so here is Travis Scott speaking. So basically, people were trampled over, stepped on, and 8 people died, according to their. I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing could be fake, but if it were true, it was a sacrifice to the non-physical. I mean, look at the name Astro. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I would like to have you listen to Travis here a little bit here. Travis is going to be pretending to care. His tongue will be rolling out like a snake. Okay.
Travis Scott speaks publicly for the first time since the incident at his Astro World Music Fest. I just want to send out prayers to the. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. To the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely. With everyone and just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, everyone to help us figure this out. So if you have any information,
Oh, did you see the tongue rolling out? Okay, the tongue was rolling out.
Please just please information.
That's a reptilian. He has more reptilian in him than the average person. Keep watching.
Please just contact the local authorities.
There we go. He rolled it out again. Okay, nobody. What is that? What is that? Okay, you saw it. Okay, and then of course straight out, and then from the side, you see that. So this guy is just pretty much just sacrificing his fans. Okay, okay, that's a snake. That's a snake.
Everybody continue to just keep your prayers.
He's lying to you people. He's lying.
I mean, I'm honestly just devastated.
He's not devastated. He's an asshole. He's an a-hole. He's a nigger a-hole. He's an a-hole. Okay, he's dark. I'm not talking about the color of his skin. He's dark inside. Pay attention.
What's going on?
All right, we're good. That's enough. That's all I wanted to show. So stop giving your power away. Don't give your power away to the demons, because it's people like this. It's people rushing to these celebrities and these rappers to see their shows. They're gonna end up in a tunnel of light and will be reincarnated, and it's gonna hurt like a bitch. Good luck on your journey back to source consciousness. As a triple cross, aka Agbe Benny Pap. Take care. Have a good weekend. Source speed.